All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. Quick reminder, we will be discussing Area 51 coming up in our next segment. There have been some arrests out there. We'll give you an update on that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Also, we'll talk a little Raiders with beat writer John Becker with the Oakland Tribune coming up in hour number 3. But, this is a very interesting and unique story. I used to work very close to Providence, Rhode Island. And apparently there is a strip club out there that is turning strip club to sports book. You can't make this stuff up. It's awesome. What a Vegas story this is, even though it's happening across the country. And the guy we have with us on the line right now, his name is Dick Shappy. He owns that strip club, and he joins us right now on the line. Dick, thank you so much for being here. How are you? Dick, are you there? I think we lost you there for a second.
No, I'm here. I can hear you.
There we go. We can hear you good now. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, Dick?
Okay, so this is a really unique story, but give us a little bit of background on your strip club. It's called the Cadillac Lounge. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We opened in 2001, and we've been operating as an adult club since then. But what's happened recently was the state of Rhode Island just allowed the online gambling. So I took it upon myself to designate an area in the club as a sports bar. We're calling it the Overtime Sports Bar. And we're going to be opening in about another week and a half. We've got quite a unique situation. The reason why this particular sports bar is different than the other sports bars that will be opening is that we have, it's a full bar naturally, but we have now with the online gambling, what the difference is, we also can offer beautiful women. I mean, we have about 200 exotic dancers that work at this club, and so now you can not only gamble, you can drink, and you can do it with a beautiful woman at your side.
It sounds awful to me. Oh my God! All right, so let's be clear here. You're not transcending your entire strip club into a sports book. You're keeping the strip club as is, but you're just dedicating a portion of the strip club to sports betting. So is there going to be like a kiosk there? How is that going to work?
Well, there's actually what you do is you use your cell phone for this. You have this online app that the state has just allowed us to have. So we've got charging stations, and you use your own cell phone. We don't make any money off the gambling, but we certainly bring the people in, and we've got. It's not the whole club, no, but we're a pretty large club. We have. We can fit 600 people comfortably in the club, so we've designated an area in the club just specifically for this sports bar thing. Now we've got big screen, a giant screen TV for the big games, like say Super Bowl, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But now we've also got these private booths. We call them a booth. They're open booths, but you can sit 4 people per booth, and not projected, but we've got the 74-inch screens that you can each booth you can view the any sporting event.
So there's a couple things that you said that I want to ask you about. First of all, you said you're not making money off of this sports betting in your strip club. I wanted to ask you about that. Number two, you don't need some sort of gaming license to have this in your club?
No. See, because all we're doing is offering the sports bar where they can watch the games, and they can gamble. They can bet on these games. We make nothing off that end of it, but we do bring the people in for this entertainment. Again, we have this unique situation with the entertainers, so they can watch the game and be sitting with a beautiful girl to watch the games. We do have the numbers and Keno and that kind of thing, and you make a small percentage on that end of it. That goes directly through the club. But the sports betting, no, we make nothing on that.
So what you're saying is you have the real estate, you have the space, and a William Hill or someone like that is actually renting out that space and operating their sports book inside your strip club.
Yeah, well, I own both ends of it. I own the adult club as well as the sports bar. Yes.
So your idea on this is that, hey, if you have this, it's kind of like you're putting it in there for customers as a luxury to customers to maybe, on top of the fact that you have a lot of beautiful women in there, to kind of lure them in there and say, hey, we don't just have a strip club here. You can actually have action on a game, perfectly legal. We give you that option so you can watch a game and maybe get a lap dance and grab some drinks. And you're, as the manager, and I think you're right here, you're saying, hey, this is a great opportunity for us to get more people into our club. And it actually sort of turns into a sports bar, sports book / strip club instead of just a strip club, right?
Exactly. And see, again, there are only 4 adult clubs in Providence. There's 5 adult clubs in Providence. So there's only going to be 5 places that can allow this type of entertainment, and where you can gamble as well. Now, what the state has done, they've actually gotten in behind us because they're suffering from loss of revenue with there's a casino that just opened up in Boston. It's called the Encore, but It's in Everett, Mass, south side of
Boston Harbor.
Right, Boston Harbor, right, and it's really hurting revenues at Twin River at the Rhode Island casinos. They were off 34% just in the month of July.
Wow!
So they came up with this idea to allow this sports betting thing. Now it's not allowed in Massachusetts or Connecticut, and there's only 2 casinos in Rhode Island. So
right,
and they derive the state gets a major income from. The gambling and the revenues.
Sure. If you're just joining us, Dick Shappy, he is the owner of the Cadillac Lounge strip club in Rhode Island, and he also is going to have kiosk in there to allow people to make sports bets and Keno and all those other sorts of things. So pretty cool stuff. Okay, so Dick, you've been in this business since you said 2001. You've been a strip club owner. Is that correct?
Well, this particular club, I've actually been in the strip club business for 25 years. But this particular club I opened in 2001, so that's like 18 years.
So I can't imagine. Obviously we're in Las Vegas, so obviously it's a way of life here with tons of strip clubs in Las Vegas. I can't imagine that you have somebody like Brad Pitt walk into a strip club in Providence. But can you share with us, over the years being a strip club owner, have you had some very famous people ever walk in there?
Oh, positively. Actually, we have a private entrance for them. We're in close proximity to. The New England Patriots, they fly out of Providence when they do their traveling, and they train not far away. And a lot of those guys have been in through the years. We've had many people. And like I said, we have a private entrance for them to come into, and a lot of them don't like to be like the public to know that they're there. So we provide that anonymity for them.
Sure. What is the weirdest thing, maybe the strangest night you've ever had? As you said, you've been in this business over 20 years. Can you give us a story like that nobody else would know except for somebody like you, a strip club owner, that a problem or an issue that you had to deal with and that you hope no one else would never have to deal with, like something odd that happened to you at a club one night?
Oh, my God. I could write a book on incidents that have happened through the years. I'll give you a funny incident that happened. One time we had these little people. In fact, we've got one coming next.
Well, you're not talking about midget toss, so naked.
Yeah, can we?
Okay,
can we say midget?
You can say that.
Little people. Anyway,
little people. I don't know. Some people might be offended by that. If there are little people out there that are offended by that, I apologize. Short people.
You can say achondroplasia afflicted.
Okay.
We had some little midget people. These little people. They're beautiful people. We know that. We love them. We respect them. In fact, we've got Tiny Texie coming next month. I just saw her in Vegas. I was in Vegas 3 weeks ago. We had a convention over there at Hard Rock. So we just met her out there. She's coming here next. Anyway, I'll give you a funny story. We had one time we had these tiny people. There was a mother and daughter. They used to dance as a mother and daughter. I don't believe they were really mother and daughter. They could have been. Anyway, they came to the club one night and they were dancing, and they went back to the hotel, and they had got so inebriated. They got totally drunk at the club that night, because it doesn't take much to get them.
Right, especially if you're a little person. Yes.
Right, it's true.
Yes.
It doesn't take much to get a little person tipsy. So they went back to the hotel where they're staying at, and there's a giant fountain at the hotel. They got drunk and they fell in the fountain, almost drowned.
Oh, my God!
The hotel that they went to said, we don't want you can't book anyone ever here again. I said, what happened? He said, well, they got inebriated, they got so drunk, and then they started fighting with everybody, and one of them fell into the what do you call?
It was like a fountain. Like what was it?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
The water was only like maybe a foot deep.
So you're telling me you have allegedly a mother and daughter, two small people, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you have two small people that are under 4 feet tall. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they were. Let's see, 42 inches.
Okay, so they're right there. And you're telling me they got so drunk at your strip club that night, they go back to the hotel and they almost drowned and they fell in the fountain?
Right.
If there's video of this, I'd love to see it.
Well, this happened 5 or 6 years ago. But you hit me cold with this to ask about an incident. There's been so many of them. My God, if I had time.
Well, you understand, though. You understand, right? The perception with some. Like there's one strip, and I'm not saying your strip club does this, but there is one specific strip club here in Vegas that is now being sued by the county, I believe, for women having sex with men for money. For basically it being a whorehouse, for lack of a better term. Right. I would imagine at times there are probably every night, right? There's a man that's probably propositioning a woman. Have you ever had any issues like that? Have you ever seen anybody having sex in your club?
Well, the city of Providence passed an ordinance, probably one of the toughest in the country, and it's a one strike you're out. If we knowingly allow prostitution, we can be closed down. So we've gotten very, very strict with that, and we've let a bunch of entertainers go in the past. This is over the past year and a half or so when they passed this ordinance. Yeah, it happens. But, you can proposition a girl at the Marriott. And what's to say we're not going to be closing down all the Marriotts because someone's getting propositioned.
No, I understand. Sure. So let me ask you this.
If you've got interaction between a male and a female, that's going to happen.
So if you have, right, of course, and I don't blame you for that. But if, let's just say hypothetically, you have a stripper at your club and a man says, hey, I'll give you $5,000, let's go in the restroom or something, and you guys, the management there, security, they don't know what's going on. Something does happen. You don't lose your license for that, right? The stripper would obviously lose her job, but you don't lose your license if you didn't knowingly know what was going on, right?
Well, again, this is why when they were passing the ordinance, we got in there and we got that one word put into the ordinance where knowingly. If we knowingly allow any type of prostitution, we're in trouble. Now, there's a club, and they say by management. Now, there's a club that just suffered a major people were arrested, and they had a collusion going on between the bouncers and some of the entertainers. And the city had they said, well, that's management. Where it's not management. It was management. But these were guys on the side. Owners are certainly not going to allow that.
Right.
So you have to be, but your owners are responsible for the management. So it's a slippery slope and it's a very gray area, and we're really walking on eggs right now with this particular order.
No, I understand.
I
understand, and it's not always going to be your fault if incidents like that happen. I actually think prostitution should be legal. I've always felt that way. I think it'd be safer for the girls, safer for everybody. And by the way, 45 minutes outside of Las Vegas, it is legal in Pahrump. If you're just joining us, Dick Shappy turning his Rhode Island strip club partially into a sports betting business, which I think is very, very, very cool. Make no mistake about it. Okay, so we've this is what's unique about your job, Dick. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this. It's not many people that say they walk into work and all of a sudden you've got a couple girls that show up that say they want to be strippers and they just dance in front of you and take their clothes off and you get paid to do that and that's your job. I mean, how do you explain that to people? Well, just a normal day on the job for me. I'm just rolling into work. Oh, we got about 3 or 4 girls that want to work for me, so I get to watch them take off all their clothes and dance. I mean, do you just get numb to this stuff, or like I'm just.
That's the beautiful thing about this. You don't ever get sick of sex. And the sex industry.
Well, women get sick of it with me, but that's another story for another show. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a different story. But it's like no matter what your occupation is, every male likes to look at a beautiful woman. I mean, if you're normal, and it's not something that wears off after time. No, it's not like
that's true.
You do get not jaded. what's the term I could use? I've been in the adult business for 50 years.
Wow.
I'm 74 years old.
Wow.
I started 50 years ago in the adult business with other different parts of the adult industry, and it was a lot different then, believe me. We were getting arrested in the old days for selling magazines that had nude photos in them. Now here we are. We've come a long way. There's no question about it.
So I want to get since you've been in the business 50 years, and like I said, I think that prostitution should be legal, just like marijuana is legal in Las Vegas, but there are certain zones, right, that it should be legalized. And I'm not saying that there should be a whorehouse every block near a school. There has to be some laws put in place. I think prostitution should be legal. I think it'd be safer for everybody involved. Nobody's being forced to do anything. It'd be less of a health risk. Get some of these women off the streets, and they'd probably make a lot more money too and pay their taxes. I think it is a win-win for everybody. So why is this not done, Dick? Why?
Well, we've got the do-gooders out there that just don't know any better, and they. In countries where they allow it, it's proven that it's a much safer environment, healthier environment, and I think eventually attitudes and minds will prevail. The better minds will prevail, and it'll happen. Let's think about it. There was a time when drinking wasn't legal. Now we can drink. Back in the Prohibition era, we've got. Gambling is now legal. Marijuana is just about legal, especially in Rhode Island. It's everywhere. They've got these little what do they call them? These little clinics or whatever they call them. But people, everybody's smoking. There's no question about it. 50 years ago, 20 years ago, you wouldn't. You don't think this would ever happen. So I do think that eventually prostitution will be legalized, and it should be for the reasons that you've just stated.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
No question about it.
Couldn't agree more.
They're going to do it anyway. You're not going to stop them.
Yeah.
They're going to do it anyway. But if they legalize it, they can have much more control over it and even make money off it.
And you think of all the you talk about alcohol. You think of all the deaths and the DUIs because of drinking. How many people are going to die because they're having sex, maybe relieved of whatever they need to be relieved of? If anything, they'll probably be in a better mood and they'll probably drive safer on the way home.
You're 100% right. And But yet there's these laws against it, and it's ridiculous. But it's just the way it is.
Yes.
There was a time when prostitution was legal in a county in Vegas, and the only other place it was legal was in Rhode Island, and that was through a loophole that they closed up. There was a loophole where sex between consenting adults. Whether it being paid or not, if it was in the privacy of an area, it was legal. And we operated that way for about 8 years until they closed the loophole. And that's when business changed. Business was real good in those days.
Well, Dick, listen, I appreciate you taking some time to join us. And I think it's great what you're doing for your customers. I think it's awesome. If you are one of those people that enjoys going to strip clubs once in a while, why not go there on a Sunday? Why not place a few bets while you're at the club and be able to watch some games and look at beautiful women in the process? I don't see anything wrong with that. So, Dick, before I let you go, could you give out the information, maybe the website, the information on your club, and how people, if they happen to be in Providence, how they can check it out?
Sure. It's the Cadillac Lounge. It's in Providence, Rhode Island. The web address is thecadillaclounge.com. And we're in Providence, Rhode Island. Just remember Cadillac Lounge. Love to have anyone come by and see what we're doing. We can hold 600 people. It's a pretty good sized club, plenty of parking and plenty of women.
Well, I promise you, if I'm ever in Providence, I'm definitely going to check out your club, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, man. We really appreciate it, and good luck. We hope this works out for you. I have no doubt that it will.
Well, I thank you guys very much, too.
Sure.
Thanks for putting me on and
you got it.
Doing what we did. All right,
you got it. Thanks, Dick. Appreciate it. There you go.
Thanks a lot,
Dick. Take care. That's Dick Shappy, turning his Rhode Island strip club into a partial sports betting business.
So many questions, Brian. So many questions.
Oh, well, I find this this job that he's done close to 50 years to be fascinating. And the idea of going to work every day, just looking at naked women every day.
It's a tough go.
And it's just, it's a
very difficult job.
It's just bizarre, but it's also a very powerful position that you have. You can fire women left and right if you want to, hire whoever you want. It's just crazy.
And it gives the opportunity to abuse your power, like the Gentlemen's Club here in Vegas did, clearly.
Which I think a lot of people abuse their power when it comes to women. It's called sexual harassment, whether it's a strip club or not. And certainly we don't condone that. That is a difficult job. Make no mistake about it. Taking off your clothes and rubbing up against disgusting men, that is not a fun job.